And not gonna lie, y'all might get weekly Kev back. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I straight up lied in y'all face. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was on that day. That couldn't have been further from the truth. First vid dropped on the second channel, by the way. Also, me and Noah gotta do a channel, so tap in if y'all want to tap in. Anyways, a quick little catch up on some Danadan. I only seen episode 1, so we left off right after the gang fell into this pit, encountered this earthworm, and then all of a sudden, it starts making this sound that whoever hears it will immediately want to end themselves. And why doesn't it affect Gigi? We don't know yet, but he grabs them, skedaddles outside, and when they run into—
Holy fish paste!
Goodness. It takes real skill to make someone this ugly. Main reason why I'll always respect One Piece, they got that chop formula down packed. If you're ever losing an argument, all you gotta say is that they look like a One Piece character and I promise you'll win. But all this guy came here to do was to have a staring contest with the worm, so Okarun handles it for like 3 seconds. Of course it can grow his head back. And that's when Turbo Granny tells us that the lanky man has the same powers as the worm. If you look into his eyes, it'll make you want to end yourself. And not gonna lie, why is bro's fade kind of clean? He went to the barber before this, had to get lined up before committing acts of violence, but he does end up forcing Gigi to look into his eyes, where we then see a kid trapped in a barn watching these other kids doing something. What are they doing? What game is this? Niggas just hopping around making noise. This entire field is available to y'all and y'all choose to do this nonsense right here in front of my cage. And to make things even worse, this little kid was actually the sacrifice. This was some of the most evil shit I've seen. Y'all grabbed a kid for the sacrifice, locked him in a barn, had him watching these kids trash game, and they could even give him a final meal or a meal in general. Little dude looked starved and went out painfully. I miss Lisa. But he then comes back as some sort of spirit and found out the hard way what his powers are. Went from house to house repeating the same thing. All he wanted was to have a friend, but it was impossible if the parents ended themselves every time they saw him. Worst part is, he saw another kid about to go through the same thing he did, becoming the sacrifice, but no matter how much he tried, there was nothing he could do. And right there is when his hatred for the Keto family began. Fused with the boy and now is trying to do the same with Gigi, I think. This part I don't really know, because it wasn't little dude set on fire. How is his body in the barn still? I don't know. Anyways, Gigi thought for some reason he can trust the lanky man because, you know, sad backstory and all that, but quickly realized he made a terrible decision. It looked like he was on our side until—
I shall kill all humans.
Of course. You know, it kind of makes sense. Alex Lee is voicing this guy. It's written in the program. He voices a regular guy until that regular guy has some kind of switch flip. And lanky man must have been waiting ages to get his hands on a good body because first day out and is already dropping villain quotes.
A grudge that cannot be exorcised. A cursed house, built from the rage of those who were murdered.
And he was really using a ball of souls comboing up this worm. Was beating it so bad it said, hold on, let me take 5. So he instantly turns his attention to Momo. Ass all up in the screen. And once again, Momo's defense proves itself. She had no type of barrier up. That was bare arms she blocked that with. And even if Okarun didn't block this next attack, I'm almost certain Momo would have lived. At this point, I actually think she's invincible. Unfortunately though, Okarun lost that clash, but peep the awareness, not a moment was wasted. He picks up Momo and dips with efficiency. So they came to the conclusion that they need to escape, but Momo's like, damn, we can't leave Gigi though. Yes, we can. What? Yes, we can. What are you trying to say? Am I not speaking English? I'm saying we can leave. Do you not want to save Gigi? Maybe if I jump off the walls, we can we can reach the top. So you just want to leave Gigi? Or you can catapult us up there too. Okay, we just gotta go get Gigi. Why you keep saying that nigga name? Are you? Cause he's our friend. Yours. Huh? Yours. He's your friend. Wow. Yep. So Okarun launches Momo to the surface and not even 3 seconds later the hue changes. Meanwhile, Momo's up top trying to make a rope and you knew damn well that wasn't going to reach. Why did you even attempt that? And if it did work, I wouldn't even be worried about Evil Eye anymore. I'd be more concerned on why that household had that many currents in the first place. But what does happen is that she gets a very convenient memory on how to beat a worm. I can't even remember what I did last week, yet alone when I was a child. So she just ends up burning the house down. Whatever her plan is involves the fire department, but we cut back to Okarun running for his life. Very effectively, I may add. He was not getting touched. Okay, you got that little hit in. Weave immediately runs away though. Bro even looked back. Is he following me? Face ass. Ran away just to get his jaw cracked.
Pause.
Damn. why he charged that attack so long, giving me PTSD. Now, this entire time, the worm has been poisoning the air, and it's starting to affect Evil Eye, so he simply traps Okarun in a literal house of souls. He walks inside and proceeds to juggle that man off the walls. But what I like most about Okarun is that he don't let nobody talk down about Momo. The second her name came out his mouth, he said, "Nuh-uh, none of that." Dodged his punch, putting all power into his legs. Double fist uppercut is crazy, but he doesn't do that just once. He did that combo exactly 100 times. He was counting it too. But hold on, he had to get his last aura rep in.
The third thing you shouldn't have done is piss me off.
So with Evil Eye taken care of, Granny was going through it over there. So Okarun goes down and ends up getting stuck too. So Momo's plan was to get the firefighters to spray water out the ground, causing the worm to suffocate. And once it comes out for air, the sunlight will dry it out. Now you may be asking, why did this big ass worm capable of traveling miles underground decide to come up to the surface instead of finding a new patch of dirt because there's no way a water hose can cover the entire cavern? I don't know, but that's a great question. And to make your demise even worse, you lost because you got smacked with a fire truck. And these people who got ate in the first episode somehow survived. But also turns out that myth was true. That worm actually was connected to the volcano. The volcano has erupted. I repeat, the volcano has erupted. All residents must leave immediately. Yo, am I muted? Niggas get told their life is in danger and is walking like nothing's going on. Put some urgency in those steps. But not gonna lie, this moment felt very serious, especially for Danadan standards. But turns out, thanks to Momo's endless knowledge, the worm was in fact not connected to the volcano. And her explanation has something to do with the geyser being the reason. I don't really know. All I know is that she proceeded to violate this worm, threw its ass on the water and used its mouth as a hose. That is crazy. And of course the Kato family tried getting in the way for honestly no reason. They're just bored really. Like your entire purpose for living turned out to be a lie and you're still trying to box like a fucking oversized bobblehead. But this is when we reunite with this guy. Don't know his name. He kind of looks like a monkey, therefore his name is now George. Also turns out Saiko is his master, which is why he saved Momo. Let her go back to what she was doing until Evil Eye shows up again. Destroys the worm, and Momo, please. You didn't see what this woman did. Sit this one out and let Evil Eye do his thing. We can turn away just this once. Come on, man, not you too.
Oh my god.
Oh my, dude doesn't even know what just happened. He's still looking at his after image.
Oh.
Held his head immediately. I don't blame you, bro. That was all heel that connected. So they decided to put their differences aside and handle this guy, and that was truly the best course of action because he was not going down. It took two more players, one of them being Sire, and who the fuck?
What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
So he proceeds to full sprint over here. Saiko knocks Evil Eye away, and this is exactly what I expected to happen. But once I seen the seal, it immediately clicked on what the plan was, using the doll's body to trap Evil Eye inside. And look at Saiko, how'd you even get over there? You really putting Piccolo's lessons to use, and hey, I respect it. So with that taken care of, Momo immediately goes to check for Okarun, but was met with only a pit of lava. And she was full on ready to jump down there. She was gonna get him one way or another, but good thing we have these guys as our allies, because they were able to lift the lava, cool it over, ripped it open, and found them sitting inside. And since that room they were in was already covered in slime, the lava couldn't reach them. And it's alright, bro, give your girl a hug, man. Ain't nobody gonna look at you different. Roses are red, violets are blue. You took over this body, but now your time is through. So, leave.
Still here.
They probably did it like 5 more times and not a single time did it work. So now they're having a meal and they really put a PNG of real food over this pot. Yo. My goodness, please, that food cannot warrant all that noise. And look at Granny, there's a big ass pot in the middle of the table you still take from my plate. If he got up and punked you to the wall, he'll be wrong though. Also, I forgot how racist Ira is. The man was just sitting at the table, minding his business, enjoying the meal that was graciously given. Ira turns to him right in front of his son. You milk slurping pot spawning antenna flicking slinker!
You need to leave!
But once Dawn Man ate the hot soup, it turns out Gigi was back to normal. This is when we find out that cold water summons Evil Eye while hot water seals him away. And Evil Eye has way more emotion than I thought, even got Turbo Granny glazing him, saying, "Did you really think you can control the Evil Eye?" Glaze. He started off as a mountain yokai, and mountain yokais are such badasses. Glaze. They were respected like they were gods. Glaze. So until they exercise Evil Eye, the plan is just to stick real close to Gigi, practicing the quick draw with the thermoses. Next thing they do is go see Gigi's parents, which I thought were dead, but turns out they're just sitting in some hospital, and my goodness, I need me a psycho.
She's so fine, she done pissing me off. How are you that fine?
And Okarun, you gotta lock in, bro. A little finger tap got you acting like this? You was ready to jump in lava to save you, bro. That's a layup on a 6-foot rim. That's how easy it is. But Momo, this is why I rock with Momo. If she wants something, she gon' get it.
Momo! Taro's being a butthead fool.
Gigi, bro, you need to like take a nap or something. Just ruin the whole moment. But they get there, seeing that his parents are okay, had a nice little moment. Then we cut back to the keto lady crashing out, and to no one's surprise, she isn't human. But she now wants revenge on Momo, and honestly, I don't know what I'm looking at. You're very displeasing to the eyes. Anyways, next day rolls around. They're walking to school when her friends pull up, damn near spearing this man into the street. That could have ended so bad. You, for one, restricted his arms. So if he fell forward, that would have been entire face slammed on pavement. Or you both could have been taken out. If there was one driver on the road that day going a little faster than he should be, we would have seen you on tonight's news headlines. But later on, they catch up with Ira, who, by the way, lost all her emotion. When she confessed to spreading those false rumors about Momo, nobody was rocking with her no more. But Momo asks them to live with her for a while, because if anything goes wrong with Evil Eye, it's safer to have all of them there. Shouldn't be a problem for Okarun. I don't think that nigga has a house or a family to begin with. We haven't seen a single loved one in his life worried about his well-being. He would disappear for a few days and not a single call would hit his line. He'd be eating dinner at Momo's house way too often to have a loving family at home. And Ira is just an excuse to be with Okarun, but we cut to Gigi and it looks like Evil Eye's getting used to that seal. So Psycho said, "F it, you can take that thing off." That's when Momo and the others walk in, and why did Ira get fitted? Just to walk indoors. I mean, the fit is tough, but you really just wasted it. So they're having a nice little dinner when Psycho tells Okarun to pass the soy sauce, and I already knew what was going to happen. Perfect evidence on why Okarun has no parents. They would have taught you not to hold shit by the cap because it might spill. Not a single moment was wasted. He had that attack buffered before he even transformed. But she turns him back. Entire half of the house destroyed. Y'all gonna need to double up on blankets tonight. And that's when the people we've been waiting for finally show up. These are the guys who can help with exercising Evil Eye. And not gonna lie, y'all are very rude. We waited this long. I'll gladly wait another 6 hours. Y'all could have came in the morning. Coming to my crib unannounced, no call, no text, and at midnight is crazy. But these guys are Hiyashi. Pretty much they play music that helps exercise spirits, and I can't lie, they were killing that shit. Psycho had a whole job to do and still couldn't contain herself. But long story short, Gigi started pleading to not kill Evil Eye, so Psycho said, "I bet he can stay." Canceled the whole exorcism. She's better than me. That little nigga's fate would have been sealed the second he blew my house up. Imagine having to babysit a grown man to make sure he doesn't use cold water. I'd be sick. One thing I hate is not getting enough sleep. Feeling tired the whole day is the worst feeling. So Momo decides it's time to get a job so she can fix the house up, which I don't think there's any job that a high schooler can get to pay that expense anytime soon. I mean, half the house is gone. So her friends end up dragging Okarun to where she's working at, literally, and it's a Maid cafe. I know right now, deep down in his heart, he's actually ecstatic that he came here.
Maid, Tri-beam!
Tri-beam?
Tri-beam!
Nah, but I understand why Okarun wanted to stay. This is the equivalent of your girl working at Hooters. Hell nah. There's gotta be literally anywhere else that's hiring. Got niggas walking into the spot, you gotta call them master and shit. Giving them love beams and shit, man. No. This is the exact archetype I expect to be in a place like this. So her shift is finally over, and Okarun doesn't realize the elite ball game he's playing right now. Bro did not go home. He was chilling outside all day, waiting for her to clock out. So for the last day or so, Psycho has been training Gigi and pretty much getting him stronger to resist Evil Eye. He's been even strengthening his ski. But all that matters is that he can possibly fight against room temp liquids. Any colder than that, he's not winning. So Momo and Okarun get back, and honestly, with the situation at hand, y'all need to strictly forbid any drink that isn't coffee or hot tea, cause accidentally spilling boba is crazy. And every time it happens, Evil Eye adapts. He spawned a barrier around himself before they can even throw the hot water. Also, why did his fit just disappear? Does Evil Eye choose to be seen in tidy whities? And Momo almost got hold here, but to kill her, you gotta get past her defense, and for 2 seasons straight, it's been indestructible. Good thing she drank the water instead of throwing it. Once again, her defense skill proves unbeatable. And this is when Gigi realized he never had a chance. Momo and Okarun are too locked in. You thought you was playing good defense, but whole time you was falling for the hezzies. Hey man, I don't know what to tell you. Ira don't got a man, go take some shots over there. But after this incident, Okarun realized he's way too weak. So he goes to the alien guy who is currently disguised as a human and asks them to teach him how to punch. Dude flat out refused, saying violence is no good.
Really?
He knows the exact situation he's in, talking about too violent. He has to deal with a spirit so strong that it got Turbo Granny glazing him. Out of all people, Turbo Granny. And speaking of Turbo Granny, had a little chat with Okarun, and long story short, she knows he's trash. He has her powers. So hey, look at that. A perfect teacher. And I guess Ira's joining us too. So Granny brings them to the school and gave us a little explanation that pretty much just confirmed that Okarun is indeed trash. Evil Eye can do 4 moves before he can do 1. She even said Ira can do the same. Then all of a sudden these bobbleheads spawn. No time was wasted. Immediate transform, and I see what this fight is supposed to be training. All those flying notes are actually bombs, so this is supposed to help with your dodging, speed and whatnot, but we see Ira putting in that work. She said she's been out all season, gotta put on a show. Meanwhile, Okarun out here getting smacked by strays multiple times at that, knocked him back into base form. Ira is really trying to get that MVP. So Granny finally tells him, hey, get your head in the game. You gotta find your rhythm. Just think of a song and move to that.
I never listen to music, so I don't know any songs. Really?
Why is everything so difficult? What do you mean you don't listen to music? How does one go their whole life with no music? Another reason why he must have no family. He's gotta be sleeping in some random barn every night. Bro's stuck in prehistoric times. The only enjoyment he gets is from slapping 2 rocks together. Knowing not one song is crazy. But earlier that rock band was here, so I mean, that'll work. You know he has to show up at the perfect time. Gotta maximize the aura points. And he finally shows us why he's the main character. These bobbleheads shouldn't be a problem. Ira grabs the one dude, and I can only imagine the fear in his heart right now. Knowing exactly what your outcome is and how none of your homeboys is trying to help you. Yeah, he's gone. But that's when the piano guy takes the lead, and not gonna lie, piano gotta be the swaggiest instrument. You just have that class if you know how to play it. One of these days I'ma learn, and then I'll randomly spark a stream up, and after y'all hear me play the most beautiful melody known to mankind, y'all gonna look at me different. Gonna stop calling me Unk in the comments, gonna start calling me Kevin the Keeper of Keys. Already got my stage name planned out. Anyways, the piano guy summons a singing titan. Multiple singing titans. And I don't know if this is supposed to be a metaphor or if it's just same old Danadan being weird, but the other titans had hordes of people dropping out of their mouth. But all this was a distraction. So they made their way up to the titan, and giving your homeboy the most craziest mix-up is wild. One went high, the other charged that low for some reason. What are you aiming at? They're on his head, not his jaw. She really might just hate that guy. That's gotta be her ex or something. She'd even try aiming at the right spot. Straight up clothesline him for no reason. But Ira tells Okarun she's got this. You go take care of the musicians. And she did what she promised in record time. A few dodges here and there, just had them knocking each other out. But the last girl, she said, hold on, let me get this one. Then we cut to Okarun with some crowd control. Feet cam is kinda crazy though. I can hear every pitter patter off those steps. But he goes all out to the stage. And I honestly don't know what he did here. Like, did the shockwave kill him? Probably. But hey, they won though. Meanwhile, back at the crib, George is making his case saying we need to get rid of Evil Eye. The next time he gets out, he'll stay out. You don't want our blood on your hands. The Hiyashi will be here tomorrow. I'll do the exorcism myself.
Wait a sec, you can't go deciding stuff like this on your own.
What?
And they're really mad, like they're about to lose a loved one. Bro, that is a demon inside him. Shouldn't even be an argument, Momo. He almost killed you twice. Or 3 times. I don't know. He almost killed you a lot.
Huh? Boom! You bitch! I'll slap you. Say something. I didn't say nothing. I'll slap the fuck out of you. That's on me, nigga.
He just boosted his stats. He feeling confident now. And it's crazy how they left this on a cliffhanger last week, but they clashed fists. I ain't realized the first time, but he got Turbo Granny as his back bling. Weave. He lucky he blocked it. So Evil Eye jumps up going for the stop, but boy, look at this counter. Beautiful work, Okarun. Where'd he come from? Thought he had the upper hand, but Okarun was ready for that. Had a little stare down right here. No hit landed yet. Got some Dragon Ball action going on until Evil Eye throws some projectiles, but Okarun dodges it elegantly, runs in, weave, feet planted. You gonna feel this. Straight gut shots. And he thought he had something going with that little house, but who is this? Okarun ain't never looked like this a day in his life. He said this last attack is gonna finish this. And it's like y'all just don't want a house to live in anymore. And not gonna lie, when he walked it off, I thought it was over. Someone get the water, the plan failed. That's until he started rage baiting. Okarun called him weak one time, he started throwing a fit, yelling all in his face while he has no care in the world. But long story short, they made a deal. I guess Evil Eye no longer cares for tormenting the innocent, and now only wants to fight Okarun. So Okarun said, I bet, I'll fight you once a week, but you can't go hurting innocent people or the deal's off. And that's how they domesticated the all-powerful Evil Eye. The same guy Turbo Granny was glazing, lost to rage bait, and he really gave him his draws, saying, once I kill you, I'll get them back. Like, bro, we couldn't just shake hands? Anyways, that solves the Gigi problem, and for their house, they got Minecraft before they were famous to help build. And Gigi's mom is a menace. She's whipping that hole like it's a damn sports car. But anyways, it's the next day, they're walking to school. These girls pull up on Gigi giving him this milk, and I'm actually surprised he kept his clothes on this time. So earlier he was intentionally stripping down to his drawers, but not gonna lie, this is gonna get annoying fast. For the rest of his life he can't have anything cold. He's stuck drinking tea and coffee for every meal. He gets done working out, can't even hydrate himself. That shit would suck. And then he books it to the soccer field. Hey man, you're messing up the game. Not even following the rules either, man. Get this guy off the field. But turns out all the hot drinks were sold out, so just gotta deal with it. Now hold on. This nigga wasn't doing shit the whole class period. I don't see not one solution on that paper, not one equal sign. And what grade is this anyway? 1 + 2 + 3? Really? Also, is this how Japan students really be eating? They got options like this? This food looks like they actually tried, like it was made for human consumption. All they gave us was 2 stale-ass bread with a chicken thrown in the middle and a side of milk. Like, who thought of that shit? Never in my life would I be eating a burger and say, wait a minute, some chocolate milk will bang with this. Like, no. School was the only time acts like this occurred. But later on, she's talking with the homegirls, and they mention an apartment ghost, but also a golden ball. Not gonna lie, I forgot Okarun was walking around with a single ball this whole time. That entire plot line vanished from my mind. Bro, and this fuck-ass outro, man. This thing just pops up. No warning, no subtle hint that the episode's gonna end. Nothing. What? The fuck was that?